Okay. I guess if you're seeing this video, something has happened, and I have confirmed it through the guy. So, if you remember, I made a video back probably maybe November, early December, talking about the next update to come out, and it was called Winter Wonderland. Now, in that video, I said some things. Now, what I want you to do is I would like you to take that video and throw it in the garbage. Because everything in that video was wrong, except for one thing. And now, let me go ahead and explain stuff. So, by the time you see this video, I'm hopeful that the Spooky Christmas mini event has been popped up. And you get to see that, so you get to see exactly what came into the thing. But, as you know, some of the things I've mentioned didn't happen, unfortunately. And things have changed the plans from what I understand. So, originally, before I talk about the thing, might as well talk about some things. So, I was correct when it came to the mini event. That did come out. It was mainly Christmas stuff, but I really did dig the 5 items they gave. It was a nice little thing to kind of keep us busy. Unfortunately, some things happened. So, first thing, the terrain snow. So, originally, I mentioned this in the video, but they originally wanted to have snow be in the town. That was their plan. But for some reason, they came across an error when it came to trying to update the terrain. For some reason with this game. So they weren't able to do it. But instead, they decided to, decorate the snow on the item or houses that belong to it, and turned the promenade into snowy area here. So, at least it's something. So it's not like there's no snow at all. And, there's snow like up here. It's just as unfortunate that we don't get a whole lot of like wintry stuff to make it like how it was in the past. But, I'm not 100% sure exactly what the issue was, but apparently it was bad enough that they couldn't able to update the thing. So I'm just gonna have to agree with them there. Again, they didn't really tell me exactly what happened. All they said was because of some errors and bugs, they couldn't do it. So this was their workaround. So I think moving forward, maybe that might have happened, like thinking about it, I think that probably must have happened in 2020 because we didn't get the snow thing anyways as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's just something to think about. But I digress. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, there's another thing that happened. The special book. As I mentioned, the 12 Screams of Christmas was originally supposed to come out during this update here, but it did not. The reason why is because they've been having issues with the special books, and because of the small team they had and the limited time to getting this update out, they decided to say, screw it, hold it off, throw this update here. So, that's what's going on there. Now, with that being said, there is, how do I put this? There is something going on right now with this update coming out, and it should the special book, I should say, they ended up fixing the error that they had, so it works now. They got everything 100% correct. So what should happen in this month of January? You should see the book pop in, so you're able to kind of do that update. I should be able to, I should be able to see exactly. I'll be announcing that once it comes through or when I can get confirmation. Hopefully this Attack of the Christmas Present bug doesn't affect it because, I'm hoping that's not the problem. But I'm hopeful that we get the book in and they'll update it. So probably another update to kind of come into the game. I don't know exactly what they have in mind. But, yeah, it is going to come out this month, so be on the lookout for that. Right, so let's talk about the new update. So this next event coming up. So originally, my thought process was we were going to do this next book a lot of people have probably figured out. Unfortunately, that's been put on hold for something fitting, because the next update is going to hit sometime near February. Hopefully, I mean, they're designing it now, so I'm hopeful that maybe they might be able to put it out within, like, January, but by the latest February. But at that moment, it might defeat the purpose if that was the case. I'm not 100% sure. I'm hopeful, like, it's not going to be the same thing. Like, I mean, knowing me, it's probably going to be the February thing, but I don't know. I'll keep in mind when it comes up to places there. So they're designing that, and the reason why they're doing this is because they want to make it fit with the update in February, which is Valentine's Day. And a lot of you probably have a good idea what book they're going to be doing, because this is an obvious choice. And it's been in the works for a while. A lot of people wanted to see this book happen. So, obviously, this is the next thing. But, with that being said, there is one small little issue that I have concerns with. And that is the characters they have decided. So, I think part of the other reason why they decided to go with this one was because this was an easy one to kind of comprise to an update. I think, and the choices and all that stuff and more. But all right. So I'm gonna assume, I don't know, by the time this video uploaded, I don't know if they announced what it's gonna be in, like, social media. So I'm gonna pretend as if it's not. But in that mind, and I'm also saying that as well as for the people in the group, so they might know, but the outside people, the general audience, don't know. So I'm going to pretend as if nobody knows. Okay. So, you probably have an idea what this update's going to be, judging on the fact that this is going to be somewhat of a Valentine's Day themed update. With that in mind, let me ask you a question. If you had to pick just one character from this book, like, take the book in your head, pick the one character you think in your head that you think would fit well, right? Because I'll bet you everything, everybody's be thinking the same character, right? So, you're thinking of that character, right? Thinking about it? Okay. Alright. Now take that character and throw it in the garbage. Because you're not getting that character as the main character. No. But, not to say that that character is not going to be associated, because that would be stupid. They are. They are instead going to be associated in a different setting. So then you might be asking, who's the main character? Well, when you find out who it is, you can see where my thought process is coming in, because they want to keep it true to this book. So what I've noticed recently is that they've been trying to keep it true to the books that they're adapting. And the part of the problem with that is that they're bringing the main character as the character you get. And that's there's some issues with that, because it depends on how they're going to get this character in. Because this character has the potential of, like, there's two ways that this character could go about it. Now, I did some suggestions to them, and I have no confirmation to say if they're going to be going this or not. I've also shared somebody within the community, Playboy Vampire. I talked to them personally, and they designed a character, which I'm going to show off eventually. Hopefully, that they decide to take this character portrait out and put it into the game, because this would end up working out well, I feel. With that in mind. So, we had an idea what this character could be to fit with the character, because he told us the idea of what he wants as a rough draft. Like, okay, this is one of my thought processes, this is the scene, this is the main character, this is the story I kind of had in mind what I wanted to do. So then we gave him feedback and told him suggestions of how this could work out. So he should, hopefully, we see this be played out in some way, shape, or form. Now, will that happen? I don't know. That's where my concern comes in. Because the other issue, too, is that he's currently also helping with Snoopy, Town Tale. Because that game is currently the big, that's the big moneymaker for the company. So it would make sense to put your efforts into the thing that is more profitable than something that is kind of like underground niche, type of cult following type of game now. So that makes sense. But my concerns is that I've tried to get some communications with him, and I haven't gotten a full list of things just yet. So there's that. So, like I've said before, this has potential to have two things happen. Either this character is going to be one of the more fun characters, and this update will be one of the interesting ones to start this year off, or this could have potential to be a very bad update if they end up turning the character exactly like they were in the book. Basically turning them into a Connor 2.0. And that you don't want to be a Connor 2.0. And for those who are probably wondering, what do you mean by Connor 2.0? Well, allow me to show you Connor, just in case you forgot who he was, because I'm sure you guys know, you probably forgot about him too, because he was that memorable. Alright, there he is. There's Connor. So this kid, remember him? Yeah, the guy from Be Afraid. This kid was so useless that there was no, Emily was more of the hero in the story than this kid was. So he might as well have not been in the book, because there was nothing about him that stood out. Hell, he even looks closely to another character, Billy Deep, and that character was more interesting than this kid. So I get the idea that when you read the stories, originally all the kids are basically bland, boring characters, because you want your audience to basically be put themselves into the situation of the character. So you want to make them as basic as possible with some minor details to kind of be like, oh, well, this character has asthma, or this character is tall, or this character has some weird, or he's fat, something like that. But it's not like anything too big to make it seem like the kids can put themselves into their shoes. But the problem is, when you're bringing characters like that into the game, you have to make them stand out from everyone else. You have to say, okay, why is this character being brought into the game? What makes them important? What makes their role stand out compared to everyone else? Especially for this book, because of a particular storyline, if you know what this story is about. And because it's short, because it's 8 parts, right? We were going to be expected that there are going to be 8 parts. So there's not a whole lot you can go work with it. So, but I digress. So if you know the story, then you know there's an issue when it comes to the main character associated with one of the main people in this game. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but again, if you have a good idea of what this book is going to be coming about, then you know exactly what I'm trying to refer to here. So my concern here is that this has potential to be very bad, in the sense that this would make absolutely no sense of why this character falls in love with the main character, or this would actually make sense if you have her stand out. So this is why I said this is a potential to be very bad in some cases. It has a potential to be one of the worst updates of this year, or one of the best, one of the good ones. And Valentine's Day hasn't been bad so far. They have always been top tier when it comes to this game. So I'm hopeful that they don't screw this up. And here's the thing. If they end up doing something that wasn't what I suggested to them, but it works out just fine, then moving forward, I will have no doubts to this director's thought process and what they want to do. If they say they want to do this weird book, I'd be like, well, I have no idea how to do that, but you know what? If you know how to do that, good on you, buddy. I'm 100% on point. Because here's the thing. The guy, the director of this program, we only seen 2 updates so far. This update with the designs of the spooky stuff, which fits well with HorrorTown, so they did a job on that. But the other one was Horrorland. And Horrorland is very easy to kind of go ahead and do, and a lot of that stuff has already been kind of planned out already. So there wasn't a whole lot in there. Now, mind you, he also added stuff like the music as well as the duo stuff. That was all him. So obviously he has some ideas and he knows what he's doing with this game. It's just that concern that there's that possibility, that factor, that this update can screw it up very much so, because the story they're adapting is one of those, it's one of R.L. Stine's I wouldn't say it's one of his worst books necessarily, but when you're adapting it to the game, it kind of comes off the wrong way. Let me put it to you this way, right? Another update that came into the game in the past, yeah, this one, Attack of the Mutant. This update, it was very faithful to the source material, right? In fact, everything about it I love. This was one of the updates I loved when it came to the shorter updates, because they did a very good job with how they adapt everything up there in 2019. But there was one little issue with it that kind of rubbed me off the wrong way, and that was the fact that the Masked Mutant was being Libby. And you kind of have an idea where I kind of joked about this too when this happened. And again, this was based off the thing with R.L. Stein and all that stuff, but I'm like, why? Why do this? You're just making it more, it's making it more creepy, right? And, that makes you wonder if Masked Mutant prefers to be Libby as a character. Why is that, right? I leave that up to you. I digress. I'm not dumping into that stuff just yet. Oh boy. But, yeah, again, I suggested an idea to them to make this character stand out, and I have an idea of what could work. And, if they end up going with the idea that we've suggested, then it'll make it some funny memes, and I already have some stuff in mind. However, if not, then I'm hopeful that they don't make this character bland and boring, and like something that wouldn't fit with why this character would fit, like would want to associate themselves with the main character. But I'll wait to see exactly what happens, because this is going to be an interesting love triangle. So that's one of your hints of what this update is. Again, you'll probably know exactly what book this is, because this has been talked about and hinted at for a long time, since back in 2021. And this was originally, most people thought, oh, when it comes to Valentine's Day, this is going to be the next book, obviously, right? But I can't say it because at the time of this recording, there is no confirmation in the forums or in the group or in public in like some sort of post from Facebook. So I can't say exactly what it is, and I don't want to go ahead and spoil it. But again, me talking about this, if you know, you know. And then you'll understand when it comes to the update, when it comes back, and you come back to this video and you're like, oh, so that's what he meant by that. So that's it for now. That's basically what's going on right now. So long story short, the special book is coming for to 12 Screams. It's coming up through this month in January, so it's a little delayed, but it has come. So special books are back, hooray. So that will give us some content to kind of start, and hopefully moving forward, we'll start to get more of the stuff. So that means the next update, February, let's hope that we get to have the Weekend of Poison Leaf cringe. That would be somewhat fun to do, and oh boy, I can't wait for that one. Because that's going to come. Don't worry, that is coming. Oh god, I'm only looking forward to that one. And the Valentine's Day special is going to be the next one coming up. As far as the book that was originally supposed to be planned, I'm not sure if that one's on hold and will be brought back later on down the line, or if this one was kind of put on the shelf because they didn't know how to put this into the game as far as making it happen, or I'm not 100% sure exactly what was going on there. Again, because the original plan was this book was supposed to be the Christmas update, but as we know, they had to kind of make this into a shorter update, so I thought they'd push this and bring this as the next thing, but no, they instead wanted to keep it consistent. So that would mean that after Valentine's Day, the next one is going to be an Easter update. I'm not sure exactly what book they're going to be doing in that, but again, I'll update once we get stuff going. But for now, this is the next book that's going to be coming up in the Valentine's Day stuff. Hopefully this thing works out well. I've been keeping updated with it comes to the game's social life as far as like monetary stuff goes, and I can tell you that it still has an active like income coming in, and it's still doing pretty well for the fact that there's not a whole lot of people on here. So the fact that they're still doing, money wise from this tells me that this game has a good loyal fan base that deserve, like, it justifies as having some update content coming in to kind of keep the revenue going, but not enough to kind of go back into the way it was back in the day. So that's the only unfortunate part, but that's it for now. So yeah, that's my rambling is over, and my concerns and everything like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this next update, and I do apologize on the video I did before back in the last year, but you know what, like everything, things change and stuff happens, but now you know the new content of what's going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this new update. I'm looking forward to seeing what creepy Valentine's Day stuff they have in mind, especially with this book theme that they're coming in with. And I will say the scene they have in question or what they have in mind, again, we get to see the character we thought was going to come in as something, and we also get some other characters as well, so they're not going to be the only ones. So it'll be interesting to see how they play out with this, but obviously he has some ideas, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, that's about me. It for now. I shall return whenever I see you next time with HorrorTown with some more content. So until then, I've been Grim, and I'll see you next time. So, look forward to Valentine's Day and the new special book, which will come very soon, so I'm looking forward to that.